Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to this video. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing my December book haul and I'm super excited. I know I say that every month, but I'm just in general excited about books a lot, I guess. And I got a lot of new books to share you guys, so you guys know the deal. Some books I know something about, some I don't. I have a book buying problem, you guys know that as well, and I just love books and I got some to share you this month as well. Yeah. So without further ado, let's just jump right into the books because otherwise this video will be way too long. So the first book that I got is a book that I have never heard anyone mention before. Seriously have not heard any YouTuber talking about this before. I just stumbled upon it on Goodreads and the summary on the back actually sounded interesting and I was like, okay, it doesn't cost a lot of money on Amazon. Let's go for it, and that is called Leaving Paradise by Simone Elkis. Whoa. I thought it sounded interesting and I really wanted to read it. I do not like the cover, but I'm just trying to work with that, hoping that the story is good at least. The next book that I got is The Beginning of Everything by Robin Schneider. I do own Extraordinary Means, which is by the same author. I haven't read it, so I have no idea how I will like her writing style, but I wanted this because in general I just have a weakness for YA contemporary books, which I think this is. I'm pretty sure it is because, I mean, by the cover it kind of seems like a YA contemporary book. Well, I'm definitely excited to read it. The next book that I got is The Girl in 6E by A.R. Torr. And apparently this is a thriller. It says definitely here this year's most shocking thriller. I have never heard anything about this book before. But then all of a sudden, I mean, some people I follow a lot of like booktubers and just in general book accounts on Instagram. A lot of people were starting to talk about this. I don't think this is a new book, but people were just like starting to talk about this for some sort of reason, and I am definitely getting more into thrillers. It's never really been something that I enjoy reading, but I have just been loving it a lot lately, so when I heard that, well, apparently this was good and all of that, I wanted to pick it up and give it a go, and hopefully I will like it. The next book that I got is a book I've seen everywhere on YouTube, and now I thought it was my time to also get it, and that is Aristotle and Dante Discovers the Secrets of the Universe. I'm not quite sure what this is about. I think it's a book about strong friendship between these two characters. I'm not quite sure if there's like some love, romance involved, but I've heard that this is good. Actually, I've heard kind of mixed things about it, but mostly good things, so I just really wanted to read it for myself. I'm starting to like give science fiction like a lot more chances. So I have been getting some science fiction books, and the first one that I got is a book that a lot of people start talking about, and then I was like, okay, because I have a weakness when some of my favorite YouTubers talk about a book, then I also want the book. I decided to pick it up, not really thinking about that it was a science fiction book, and that is The Diabolic by S.J. Kincaid. No? It does not say a lot on behind. It just says a diabolic is ruthless, a diabolic is powerful, a diabolic has a single task: kill in order to protect the person you've been created for. It sounds interesting, that's the only thing I know. Hopefully I will enjoy this. The next book that I got is City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare, and this is the second book in the Mortal Instruments series. I love the Infernal Devices. You guys probably know that by now. So I can like only imagine that I will love the Mortal Instruments series like as much. But I just need that like kick in the butt to get into the series because I'm not really into the whole series right now. I kind of just want to read standalones, but I need to do it soon. I really do. The next book that I got is once again a thriller. I haven't heard anyone mention this before, but I just sometimes pick up books just hoping that I will enjoy them, and that is The Ice Twins. And this, first of all, I thought this was a horror story at first, but apparently this is a thriller. Okay, first of all, there's these two identical twins. So one of them dies in an accident, and the rest of the family moves away, but then all of a sudden the twin that is left starting to be like starting to claim that they have mistaken for her identity, that she's actually like the other twin. And I don't know, it sounds kind of mixed, like weird and confusing, but I thought it sounded interesting and I wanted to read it. The next book that I got is a book that I'm currently reading, and I'm so excited that I'm finally reading this book, and that book is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstein. Really excited to finally read this. It sounds so interesting. Well, I know it's interesting because I'm reading it. I love it so far. It's definitely totally different what I expected, but I am loving it a lot. It sounds so interesting, and I'm definitely excited to see what's gonna happen and all of that. I'm really excited, and I need to read more of this whenever I stop filming, because this is good. The next book that I got is a book that I've heard like so many good things about, and it's not a new book as well as I know, but people once again have just been talking about it recently, and that book is Night Film by Marisha Piesel, or however you pronounce it. This book is so, like, the spine, if you could see it guys, it's so ruined. This book is also so big, but I'm so excited to read this book. So the only thing I know about this book is that we follow a girl that apparently has committed suicide, and then we follow these investigators that are investigating her murder. No, not her murder, her suicide. But they don't really think it's a suicide. And as you can see, there's a lot of different things that are not only, well, text in this book, and that's something I really like. The next book that I got is a book that I feel like have a very interesting topic, or I'm excited to see how this author is going to write about it, and that is called Asking for It by Louise O'Neill. And I'm pretty sure from what it says from behind that there are like some pictures getting released, probably of this main character's body, I could imagine, and I'm not 100% sure obviously because I have not read it yet, but that's what I could imagine, because that's definitely a common thing in today's society. Unfortunately, a lot of like pictures and videos are getting released that are not supposed to get released. But I'm excited to see how this author is going to write about this, because I've heard only good things about this. Then I got another Patrick Ness book. The book that I got is More Than This by Patrick Ness. Huge fan of the cover, guys. It's like, it looks amazing. So the next book I really don't have a specific reason for, I just found the cover pretty. And that book is Beautiful Broken Things. And this looks so gorgeous. I love, like, I don't know, I just really like it. Or is it just me? The next book is by John Corey Whaley, and I read Highly Illogical Behavior by John Corey Whaley in 2016. Absolutely adored it. And I wanted to read more books by him, so I picked up another one. And that book is Where Things Come Back. I don't know anything about this book actually, I just knew that I wanted to read something else by the same author because he is amazing. So I picked up this book and I'm definitely excited to dig into it. Once again, I got a thriller because I love thrillers, and the one that I got this time is When She Was Bad by Tammy Cohen. I don't know much about this except that we follow these, I think it's 5 colleagues. They have this normal work routine where they go to work, but all of a sudden there is this new boss arriving and a lot of things are going on, and then it kind of says like who has like secrets like from their past and who's capable of murder, and then there's just a lot of things going on, and I'm very excited to dig into this. The next book that I got is another Morgan Matson book, and seriously this is the 4th book I own by her. And I'm so excited, I could not resist when this was discounted, and that is Amy and Roger's epic. I think it's like Detour, and this is by Morgan Matson, and the only thing I know about this is that we follow these characters and they're going on a road trip from what I know, and that's it. That's all I know, and it sounds like a beautiful YA contemporary book that I will adore. The next book that I got is Am I Normal Yet by Holly Byrne, and I know nothing about this book. Apparently this is a part of a series. I did not even know that, but I'm excited to read it and hopefully I will like it. I kind of have my eye on this for a very long time. The next book that I got is How Not to Disappear by Claire Furness, and once again, I'm very excited to read it. I don't know really anything about this, but it's just, once again, it's just been on my TBR for a very long time, so I guess there has been a reason for why I wanted to get it, but I'm excited to read it. Then, as I said, I have a weakness for YA contemporary, so there are a lot of books now that are kind of like that, and I hope you guys don't mind that I don't know that much about them. I just have a weakness for YA contemporaries, and I kind of always tend to love them. So one of them is You Know Me Well by Nina LaCour and David Levithan. I love David's work. He is an amazing author, so I really just wanted to read this and pick this up as well. As I mentioned, I love John Corey Whaley's writing style, and I picked up another book by him, and that is Knocking as well. This sounds so weird. So this is a weird plot. Like, a guy gets his head chopped off, and it gets put in a freezer. 5 years later, his head is attached to a new body. Da-dum. What is that? That is so weird, but I'm excited to read it. The next book that I got is called Tape by Stephen Kadam. After reading Playlist for the Dead, which kind of has to deal with the tape as well. I don't know why I just decided that I wanted this, but I just wanted it. So I'm excited to read it. Then I got this book that I've heard many good things about, and that was the only reason why I decided to pick it up, and that is The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows, Ava Lavender. And the only thing I know about this book is that we follow a girl character that has wings. That was like enough for me to find this book interesting. The next book that I got was the first book ever I saw on Amazon, and I just wanted it, and that is Night Owls by Jen Bennett. And that's like all I know. The next book that I got is Don't Look Back by Jennifer Armentrout. This is about like two friends, and then one of them disappears one night, and the other friend has to kind of like put the pieces together to figure out what actually happened that night and what happened with her best friend. It sounds really interesting. The next book that I got is once again a cute contemporary, and that is The One We Fell in Love With by Page 2, and I've never read anything about this author before. But this sounded like a good story, and I wanted to read it. The next book that I got is Stealing Snow by Daniel Page, and apparently this is, I think this is a retelling of the, is it the Snow Queen or the Ice Queen? I can't even remember right now, but the reviews on this were like okay, not too good, but I have my eye on this for a long time, and I was like, okay, let's not think about the ratings and let's just get it. The next book that I got is a book that I've also like been having my eye on for a long time, and then I was hanging out with one of my friends and we just talked about it, and she made me just really wanted to buy it, so I ended up picking the book up, and that is The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. I don't know anything about this book specifically, but I know about the author, how she was dealing with depression and how she ended up committing suicide in a very horrible way. She put her head in an oven. That's not a nice way to die, I believe. The next book that I got is My True Love Gave to Me, and this is like 12 holiday romance stories by 12 different authors. I've already read this. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Some of the stories were so cute, others were kind of like meh, but overall I did really like it. The next book that I got is The Shack of the Fall by Nathan Filer. One of my all-time favorite YouTubers once again mentioned this book, and I just thought it sounded interesting and I wanted to read it. The next book that I got is The Naturals, and this is the first book in the Natural series. I have also been wanting to read this for forever, so I'm glad that I finally picked it up. So apparently this is about some teenagers that are helping the FBI solving different mysteries or something. That's the only thing I know. The next book that I got is Station 11 by Emily St. John Mendel or something. I have no idea what this is about, but it's that again, it's just a book that I've heard so many things about, and that I just thought, okay, now I wanted to read it for myself, see what all this hype is about. So you may have heard about the book called Stalking Jack the Ripper that I also really want so bad. I need to purchase it really soon. And I know Sashi Alsberg, she's a totally fan of that, and in her last book haul she mentioned that she just wanted some other books that kind of had some sort of like relation to Jack the Ripper. By the way, I thought Jack the Ripper was a pirate first, but then I found out he was a serial killer. There's kind of like a difference. And she mentioned this book called The Name of the Star, and I got it. The Name of the Star by Maureen Johnson, and I know nothing about this except it says up here Jack the Ripper returns, and it has some sort of things to do with Jack the Ripper, and that was enough for me. And guys, this is a signed copy. I didn't even know that before I got it, so that's pretty cool. We are getting to the end of this haul. So the next book that I got is also a book that I've heard a lot of good things about. In general, this author is quite popular for her novels. And I got And Then There Was None by Agatha Christie. She has written a lot of different books. This was just the one that I've heard most about, so I wanted to read it. Apparently this is about some people stranded on an island. They're slowly dying one by one, and that's like all I know. The next book, I'm pretty sure it's a science fiction book. I'm not 100% sure, so don't put me up on it. But I've heard it is, and I actually did not expect it to be a science fiction book, but it's fine because I've been wanting it for a long time, and that is Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. I'm excited to read it though, so yeah, we'll just see what happens. The next book that I got, I'm not quite sure if I'm pronouncing the title correctly, so please don't hate me if I don't. And that is As I Descendant or something by Robin Talley. One of my friends here on YouTube called Emily, she talked about this. She made me want to read it, so I wanted to read it. Apparently this is a retelling of one of Shakespeare's stories, I believe, or something. The next book that I got is If I Was Your Girl by Margaret Russo. I've already read this. I rated it 5 out of 5 stars. I also had the chance to meet Margaret Russo. She is amazing. This book is amazing. The topic is so important. It's about being a transgender. It's so interesting to read about, and I actually saw an interview with her, and I cannot remember how much this book reflected her own life. But it was amazing to meet her, and this book was so good, and I know she's planning on a new book, and I am definitely excited to read that. The next book that I got is Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo, and this is the first book in the Grisha trilogy. I've heard so much about this trilogy, so now I also wanted to pick it up. And the last book that I got is a book. It's kind of a new release. It's not that new anymore. A lot of people already have it, but I was kind of going back and forth if I should get it or not, but I decided to get it, and that is Heartless by Marissa Meyer. I'm excited to read this. People make it sound so good, and the ratings are good on this one, so I am so excited to dig into it. So guys, those were all the books. We got through them. We did. I hope you guys enjoyed this haul. I love doing hauls for you guys, and even though I don't have that much to say about the books, you guys can always look them up on Goodreads and read the summary about them. But I still hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!